Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dream a Fantastic Dream podcast. Happy New Year! Today, we will be recapping our end of year trip to Disney World, as well as discussing Hong Kong's updated restaurant, a new line of attraction themed merchandise, and the cast member emergency at the Disneyland Resort. We are your hosts, Skylar Gifford and Armida Flores.
Welcome back, everyone.
Yay!
Wow,
2 weeks off.
it feels like it's been so long because
It's
we
been a
usually do
while.
3 episodes a week or something.
Mm-hmm. But we've taken some breaks for the holidays, which I think is really nice that we've kind of prioritized ourselves for a bit. So that's not, also we were with each other. So it's really hard to run the podcast when we're with each other.
Well, we tried to. We brought everything to Florida and we're like, oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. It's gonna be great. And we didn't do any of it.
We got tired.
We were like, yeah, it's midnight. I'm fine.
Yeah, that shows that we had a good trip though. And we're gonna talk about a lot about that later on. But first we got to get to some news because it's been a hot minute.
Oh my god.
A lot to unpack here. So why don't you go ahead and start with, I think, your favorite piece of news.
Okay. Disney is being sued for $5 million over false advertising for the Dream Key. The claim is that the annual pass program was advertised with no blackout dates, while the Dream Key itself is presented with multiple reservation days that are unavailable. Disney responded by taking the case to federal court, saying that their intentions were clearly stated in the fine print. Meanwhile, lower tier magic key holders were replenished.
Mm-hmm.
I
know it's so bad. It's the definition of like, give us what we want, but not exact. But then they give us not exactly what they want. So it's like,
I mean, they do it, but like
they don't do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they told us that they were gonna do something, and then they never did it.
It literally, I remember that it was one sentence, no blockout dates was on there.
That's literally why I got the pass.
Yeah, and it's kind of stupid that but it was in the fine print that they're subject to reservation, like filled to capacity days. But that's then put that on the front. But here's the thing, like
even with the reservations, the park itself, it was never packed. Like there was usually never like no one there.
Yeah, they have COVID capacity, and I think
it's stupid.
I think our previous guest Whitney was talking about how at this point, like COVID is not. Well, I think now, in the months that we're in right now with the new variant, COVID is a concern. But I think at the time when it was advertised, I don't think COVID was an active participant in it. So it was obviously something else. But it's kind of unfair that they would put that as the title line. And then in the fine print, they'd say, oh, but not really. Like, JK, that's not true. Like, that doesn't really like.
Yeah. And especially now,
that's a lawsuit. Like, yeah.
I think, isn't it February that they're bringing back Fantasmic?
Yes, they are. February or March, they're bringing it back.
We literally have like a month until like everything's back. So why would this still be an issue?
I would wonder if we're gonna get it back so soon now because of how wild this new variant has been.
I honestly wonder if like it's a better idea to push it back.
Yeah, I wonder too. Well, also, and I'm saying that I think I want us to push it back because we're probably not going to be there again until February and then May. So I would want it to go back to May so then we don't have to miss it.
I was actually going to go next week.
You can go next week. I mean, you do what you do you and you go next week. You make the most of your $100 a month payment.
Yeah, right. Isn't that so? Yeah, it was so funny when we were at Disney World. Like I was like, oh, the 28th, here it goes. Looked at my bank account, the $104 is gone. Literally the next day I got paid, and I was like, oh God. Great. Okay.
All right, speaking of Disneyland, an armed incident took place at the Disneyland Resort this past week when a cast member reported that a guest seemed to have been threatening another cast member with a weapon that was not a gun. The issue has since been resolved. Disneyland spokesperson calls the incident a belligerent guest situation. And welcome to Nightmare on Main Street.
I just don't understand how they're able to do that.
Wasn't it a golden horseshoe? Like what a hill to die on.
I don't know. I didn't hear where it was, but I actually think it was Golden Horseshoe.
What a way!
That's such a crappy place. If you're gonna do something,
if I'm gonna threaten the cast member with a weapon that's not a gun, it's gonna be over like Big Thunder Mountain or
Eight
like
spirit
Napa
jerseys.
Rose.
Oh, that works too.
Napa Rose
Club
reservations.
33.
But not over Golden Horseshoe, man. That's stupid.
It's the worst food ever.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know about that. The one next to Thunder Mountain is also really bad.
Yeah, the Rancho.
Yeah.
Rancho.
Spider-Man No Way Home has become the third highest grossing film worldwide, staying at $1.16 billion. It is Sony's
Ooh.
highest highest grossing film of all time, surpassing Spider-Man No Way Home, which earned
Far from
1.13.
home.
Oh, sorry. Far From Home.
He's been doing this for months. It's okay.
1.13 billion. I hate Spider-Man, okay? Let me just say this. I hate Spider-Man because their titles are so similar all the time. It is so annoying. Not the character. I love the character. I hate the way they frame they frame the films. It's so confusing.
Yeah, I'm so fascinated with to segue a little bit away. I'm so completely fascinated with the idea that these movies at the box office are not performing well, and people are trying to blame it on COVID, and yet Spider-Man No Way Home is grossing right now at 1.16 billion
Yeah, I know.
worldwide.
Yeah, I think it's just because like the content that's being produced isn't great, and no one really wants to see it. So it's like,
well, that's not true because a lot of these movies that flopped were critically acclaimed. So I think it's a matter of like 20 years of storytelling, which you keep saying. It's 20 years of storytelling. The Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire rumors got people in those seats, in my personal opinion.
yeah.
And the fights, the speculation, the theories, the TikToks, the trailer premieres. I think in order to be successful in a pandemic with a movie is to literally advertise it like you have nothing left to live for.
I mean, yeah, they did it well.
Pretty much.
I won't say they didn't. I'm very proud of them. That movie was amazing.
Yeah, for real. It was worth the hype too. Do you want to take this one or do you want me to take this one?
I'll let you do it.
Alrighty. So Bob Iger, his last day with the Walt Disney Company was New Year's Eve. Uncle Bob.
I know. I'm so sad.
He wrote a very sweet send-off on his very last day. And the former CEO wrote, "This is the end of my 47.5-year ABC and Disney journey, and it was the ride of a lifetime. Enormous thanks to my colleagues and fellow cast members, and special thanks to my wife, Willow, and my 4 children, Katie, Amanda, Max, and Will. I couldn't have done it without your love and support."
You will be missed.
I know.
Thank you for everything that you've done.
Have a great retirement, Uncle Bob. You deserve it.
Thank you. I will never say... Honestly, if like we didn't have him, I'm interested to see where the company would have gone.
Yeah.
And like all the things that we have now that we probably wouldn't have had.
Yeah, he led it into an era of progressiveness in a way I don't think anyone else possibly could have. He did it with grace. He did it very slowly. He gave us like modernity without getting cheesy or tacky.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like he gave us like a modern Disney without making it lose the thing that we love the most about it, which is nostalgia. So
yeah,
I mean, like the things that we got in his era, Happily Ever After, to name a few. Fantasyland 2.0, Magical Map.
Oh, baby.
Movie wise, Coco. Hello. Did the launch of Disney Plus was under his care. I worked for Disney when Bob Iger was CEO, and I don't know, the atmosphere, the kind of like environment that he'd foster just by sending out like an email every now and then saying like, "Hi, you guys are doing a good job." Was just he was the best, and so I truly hope for the best for him.
Yeah, I do too. The Book of Boba Fett has officially hit Disney Plus and begins with episode 1, where we see Boba Fett on his journey from the Sarlacc pit and finding his new way to the Tusken Raiders. Ming-Na Wen, who portrays Fennec Shan, celebrated the series premiere with a day at the Disneyland Resort.
Oh, good for her. But,
let's talk about Book of Boba Fett.
About Boba Fett. Yeah.
Because I think we both agree with this.
We never usually agree on these things. When we do, it's a very special thing. So let's just go ahead and acknowledge that we agree on something.
We didn't like it. To
No.
say it bluntly, I didn't like Book of Boba Fett.
Mhm.
I was hoping for I don't even know what I was really expecting.
Mhm.
I kind of was like, oh, it's gonna be like this big show. I
Mhm.
want like tons of action, and it should really like set the bar for Disney Plus,
Mhm.
with everything that they're talking about and like where Star Wars is wanting to go.
Mhm.
But they didn't.
Mm-mm.
Um, I it just felt boring. I don't know.
It was my personal issue was it was slow and too short. It
Yeah,
was
I
too
did.
short to be that slow.
Yeah, yeah, I did.
That we
Like
spent
with
a lot. We spent way too many.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian is quick and it's short and quick. Like they know they have 8 episodes and 30 minutes an episode to just get it done. Easter egg, plot moving forward, new character, old character, like moments that you can meme, moments that you can remember, that you can love. Mandalorian is chock full of stuff like that. Book of Boba Fett episode 1 was just one cool moment that we've always wanted to see.
And then
And
a
then the
bunch
rest of it was
of
like,
follow the leader through the freaking sand.
yeah, we saw way too much walking in the sand shots. The stuff that I wanted to see was the Sarlacc pit, and then like I wanted to get from that to potentially to where Boba is now, where he is. But
Which
it
we
was
got, sort
we did,
of.
but I wanted it to be more linear, and it's taking kind of a Once Upon a Time route, in my opinion. But Once Upon a Time, in the way that they told two linear stories, one leading up to the other at the same time, they did the same thing, but Once Upon a Time was more productive than Boba Fett is being right now, in my opinion.
Well, I also think like with Once Upon a Time, it had so many routes that it could go,
Yeah.
and like there were so many things that they did with it every episode.
Mhm.
Like it was short stories within a larger story.
Yeah, and they didn't
Um,
really accomplish that, and I feel like we're still trying to figure out the same story. I don't feel like anything was finished for
yeah, I
me in
don't
the
think I
first
learned
episode.
anything. If anything, I feel like Mandalorian did a better job of introducing Boba Fett than Boba Fett did
Yeah,
for his own TV
I
show,
agree.
which is really upsetting.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember when the episode ended, I looked at you and I was like, they should have released two at once.
that's what they did with Hawkeye, and that's what really made it work.
Hawkeye, Mando, all the big ones, they released the first two together.
Did they do
Wanda,
Mandalorian? I don't think they
I think
did.
I think the first Mandalorian they did two
No, it
together.
was
I
just
don't
one
remember.
episode.
WandaVision they did two.
Yeah, I think it's
Loki
all the
they did,
Marvel
yeah.
shows that they did too.
But I would like them to follow that path because to me that feels like more of an introduction. Somebody said something very interesting. I don't remember if it was you or if it was like one of my cousins who's thoughtful like that, but it was with streaming, we run into the problem of there being like with streaming, we've stopped with the exposition in one episode.
Yeah,
Like we've stopped getting all this exposition in the first episode because there's no pilot,
right.
because it's Disney, because it's streaming. We'll watch it all at once together at some point. So
And the
people
way that
don't,
they do
yeah.
this now is like, well, at least it's not really Marvel, but it's all Star Wars. Is like it feeds into itself.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you watch one thing, they expect you to remember that
Mm-hmm.
for the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like if you never watch that, then there's like a really weird gap.
Yeah, so you gotta sit through everything.
Yeah, so it's like, and Marvel does a really good job because they don't worry about it. It's like all its own thing, but Star Wars
Yeah,
seems to
and
have the issue where it's all the
mhm.
same thing all the time.
I think with Marvel, if you happen to not get that one reference from that one movie, it's not that important.
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah.
It's if you happen to get it, good for you. If you don't get it, it's too quick to notice. And in Star Wars, it's like that one person who was shot that one time in that one
Yeah.
scene in that one movie somebody hated, that character is going to be the main character of the next show. Like we're like, hello.
Yeah.
So my issue, I didn't like the first episode of Boba Fett.
Oh,
I
also,
am
not even
very
not
curious.
even that. If we're gonna talk about Boba Fett real quick, we should probably talk about the ending of Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Yes, yes,
Um,
yes. I will admit to myself that I fell asleep on you
Oh, I
In the
know.
first 15, with the first 15 minutes, I was asleep on you.
It's okay. Not much happened in the first 15, but
Yeah.
I
would for
loved
the
it.
rest
I
though.
loved it. It was so good.
Really good.
I'm interested. I heard this like thing where they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna bring Vincent D'Onofrio back for that one episode, and then never show him again." I'm like, why would you do that? Like, if he's the head of crime in New
I
York
don't think
City,
he's dead. I don't think he is dead.
he didn't die in the comics when she shot him point
No.
blank in the face.
Nope. He's not dead. I really don't think he is.
That'd be so upsetting if like we didn't
It-
see a rematch with Daredevil and
No, we need D'Onofrio back for sure. Especially we've just introduced Charlie Cox in the same week. There's a large part of me that's like, we're not done. Like this
oh
is
yeah,
not.
if they're making the Echo show, oh it's
Mhm.
oh
yeah,
baby.
we're not done. Charlie Cox just got introduced. We're not done with this verse yet. We have so much more of these characters to see. But I loved we complained, actually, I think you put it on your Instagram story, that we complained that there are way too many plot points, especially on Kate Bishop's end, that had to be resolved in the span of like a 30-minute show. And then they were like, psych, it's 60 minutes. And here is in the first 5 minutes, we've answered every single question. And
it was amazing. It was so good.
That's why I fell asleep, was because all of my questions got answered in the first 5 minutes. And then I was like, well, it's 1 a.m. I think I'll just go to sleep.
So is Kate Bishop his like adopted daughter now?
I hope so. The child in me would like that too.
No, I wouldn't say I wouldn't either.
In me would love
I was
that.
just like, I wasn't sure if like she was just going there for Christmas or whatever, or if she was actually like moving in, which
Maybe
I thought she was.
Maybe that's a season 2 thing.
Are they going to do season? I don't think they're doing season
I have
2.
no idea. I really don't know, but we'll find out in later projects, if not a season 2. Speaking of Disney Plus, Disney's Encanto hit Disney Plus on Christmas Eve and was met with wildly positive reviews, becoming one of 2021's Disney Plus essential films, despite its poor performance at the box office since November 24th. So that's excellent news for the Latin community and for myself and for all fans of Encanto before Disney Plus. But now that it's on Disney Plus, the response that I've seen to it has been immense and fat. Like I've seen, it's like, it chokes me up a little bit, but I'm seeing creators who previously have fought so hard to get to where they are do Encanto on their TikTok and reach 100,000 followers within the week. Like my friend CJ, who we're gonna have on the show in the next couple episodes, started posting Bruno, and went from 30,000 to 80,000 this week.
Dang.
in followers. So the fact that it is being celebrated and also highlighting the creators who have been hiding in the shadows this whole time is something that is so truly special and truly wonderful. I don't know if by the time this episode comes out, if this will be a thing, but Jeremy the T is doing Encanto today as we speak. So that's how big it is, in case you want to know. Jeremy the T is doing Dolores today and told me so. And I'm like, hello, Dolores the T. And so very, very excited for that. And we will be doing things together for that. So I'm really, really hype.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Congrats.
But Encanto's a hit. Sky's halfway through it.
I am.
He liked it. It's fine. That's what he said. I like it. It's good.
I like it.
Not like not loved it, but he liked it.
No, the only thing that I wasn't like a huge fan of was the music.
Yeah.
The storytelling and the visuals. Oh my god, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. It is so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It is beautiful.
I'm releasing a video essay, a whole 3-minute TikTok about the storytelling within the musical numbers themselves and the significance of that for character development. And
I feel like I need to sit down and like actually listen to the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm. I think for you in particular, because if storytelling is one of your things for this movie, I think that you should have the lyrics up in front of you and listen to it and really take in what they're saying, because I think the lyrics in this movie are more powerful than what the music is doing.
Okay.
Because the music itself is very random and hitting different aspects of Latin culture. And that's fine. That's perfect. But I think what packs the punch in these is the lyrics.
Right.
I think why people love this movie so much is because of the lyrics. So, and I would have to agree. So I definitely would encourage taking a deep dive into those lyrics, and I'll do it with you. I will gladly break down every single line of every song in that movie.
Oh my.
It's so good. I was like, I watched it with my mom yesterday, and I was like, when this scene happens, it's actually a roadmap to Abuela's character development and how she's being vulnerable with this character in this moment. And that was like a 2-second clip. And then I was like, it's essential that Isabella does this in this moment because it means this for the rest of the movie. Like it's so deep for no reason. It's so deep. I feel like this movie is not meant for children, oddly enough. I think if you're a child, you can enjoy it, but I think it's so deep that it's trying to really hit the adult audience.
Mm-hmm.
This, like, as an adult watching it, I'm like, this means more to me than it would as a child. If I were a child watching it, I'd be like, that's pretty. But like, what's actually happening on screen, the metaphors, the imagery, the generational trauma, the hints at abusive relationships, like that stuff, and grief is so powerful and packs a huge punch that I, as an adult, appreciate the movie now more than I would if I was a child watching it.
All right, we kind of gotta.
We got to keep going. Sorry, we keep talking.
All right.
I'll do this one.
Entire new line of monthly. I got you. Go ahead. Lounge flies and ears are dedicated to favorite Disney parks attractions, titled Mickey Mouse, the main attraction. So far, only photos of Space Mountain for January and Pirates of the Caribbean for February set have been released. As of now, it is unclear if it will be available on Shop Disney or in the parks.
This is the sister line to Minnie Mouse's main attraction. So it's a lot more toned down and a lot more simple. So that's that.
Which is good.
If anyone remembers that, it's really good. We actually saw this. I think it got released while we were there. A brand new 50th anniversary Spirit jersey dropped the week of Christmas. I think it was the Tuesday before Christmas. It's a light pink with iridescent sequins, the 50th logo on the front, a shiny Disney logo on the back, and it's super soft on the inside. And I know this because I looked it up myself on the tag. The price is currently $116.
No. I'm okay.
And I heard there was a shipping fiasco with it as well, where like people ordered it and then the wrong item was sent. So it's a happening right now.
All right, I'm kind of gonna skip around. Significant
progress. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was like, wait.
Sorry, I can't type.
No, you're good. Has been made on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in California. Unlike the use of the Chinese theater. Oh my gosh, what just happened?
Sorry, go ahead. Did I mess you
in
up?
Hollywood Studios, the facade of the attraction will take place at the El Capitan Theater. So far, the marquee structure is now visible from Disneyland's Toontown. Yeah, it disappeared. I was so confused where it went. I was like, oh no. Sorry. No, you're good.
Yeah, so El Capitan instead of Chinese theater, which I'm very excited.
It's cute.
I think that's gonna be cool. Amidst the latest spikes of the COVID-19 Omicron variant across the globe, questions of whether or not Disneyland Paris would shut down again began to rise. Last week, rumors were claimed as representatives announced there were no plans to completely close down the park, but recently it's been announced that a number of big ticket entertainment offerings would be canceled for a short period of time. Starting January 3rd, which is today, and possibly lasting until January 9th next week. Disney Illuminations, Frozen and Musical Invitation, and Mickey's Dazzling Christmas Parade will be paused. So
Oof.
Christmas Parade is out for sure because it's 2022. So, but Illuminations is out for a while. So I'm sorry, international friends. That sucks.
It's okay. We got Harmonious. It's fine. Mm-hmm. It's better. I love it.
Yeah, we do. All right, do you want to do this or do you want to go ahead? Sorry, if you're finding it, I'll do it.
Yeah, there's just so much here.
All right, so Shanghai Disneyland will be raising their ticket prices starting January 9th next week. Less crowded / non-peak days have gone up to 435 yuan, Chinese yuans, which is $68 in US currency. Days that are expected to be a little more crowded are going to be 545 Chinese yuans, which is $85 US. Peak days are now 659 Chinese yuans, which is $103 US. And heavy peak days are now 769 Chinese yuans, which is $120 US. Discounts for children and seniors will still apply, and annual pass prices will remain the same. And I put this on here because I know we have a lot of world explorers on our listeners list, so it's expected now.
It's interesting though, like traveling to like different countries, because like that sounds like so much more like than our country than it isn't. But
yeah,
because when I was like looking at it, I was like, oh my god, and then I was like, oh okay, we're good. We're good.
We want to have our honeymoon in Shanghai, so it's good to know that like the less peak days are going to be more feasible.
I mean, that makes sense. The Explorers restaurant in Hong Kong, Disneyland has gotten a major makeover. The restaurant is inspired by the owner of the Mystic Manor, Hong Kong's haunted mansion, and now has references to the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. The design has been updated. Oh, wait, what?
The design
emphasis. Oh my, I cannot read today, apparently. Has been updated to be inclusive and welcoming, highlighting Lord Mystic's international friendships and celebrating cultures from all over the world in order to showcase the international artifacts around the restaurant. It has been converted into a semi-buffet style service, so guests have a chance to walk around and view the displays.
Very pretty. The pictures look absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, I want to go so badly.
It looks so good. And finally, a sad an end of an era. The Magical Express in Florida is officially gone from the Disney World Resort. The signage placed at each hotel has been replaced with a simple airport shuttle sign, which we did see while we were there.
Yeah.
And departing shuttles to the resort from the airport have been discontinued. However, returning shuttles to the airport from resort hotels will continue until January 10th to accommodate holiday guests returning home. So one last hurrah for everybody going home. And after that, kaput.
So are they just like Ubering now? Is that what's happening?
I believe they're working on building a train actually from the airport to the resort hotels. I think that's currently in the works right now, at least in concept. But for right now, I believe it is like Ubering or shuttles.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Because I knew they were doing like some kind of train.
Yeah, I wish they had closed the shuttle down when the train went up into operation.
Yeah. But like where I don't see it going to every hotel. Like that seems really insane.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want it to be like one specific location and then kind of busing from there.
It's super inconvenient. Super duper inconvenient.
But who knows? I'm just excited that makes it better. I mean, it's a one-stop like transport, which is cool.
It's true. Yeah.
All right, are you ready?
Okay, here we go. Let's get it.
All right. So this is a giant Disney World trip report for
we were there for a long time.
My 21st, for Christmas, for New Year's. A lot happened.
A lot happened.
All right. So the first day, Epcot, my 21st birthday. Actually,
wait, hold on. We should just go back a little bit. We got to do arrival day because your family got up at 5 a.m. to get to Florida at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it was insane.
That. Welcome to East Coast travel. It sucks.
We hate it.
It's very quick because the wind moves in the direction to push you towards the East Coast, but then you get there and it's night. And you're like, I ate breakfast 3 hours ago. What is this? I, however, went south from where I am. So I didn't leave till 8 p.m. And I actually got to the house right at midnight for your birthday.
Yeah, that was so cool.
I literally walked in and I was like, it's okay. It was cute. And we did quick little birthday presents for you because our moms got you stuff.
Yeah, it was cute.
I didn't get you anything for your actual birthday, but our moms did get you something for your birthday.
I don't want anything though. That's like the thing.
Well, here's the thing. I was your birthday present.
Yeah, so. That's true.
So I was like, me getting on a plane at midnight, that's my birthday present to you. But your mom got us matching shirts, and yours said her Carl and mine said his Ellie.
Yeah,
because
we did the Disney bound for them for Dapper Day in November,
which I thought was so thoughtful. Cool. It was super cute. My mom got you bracelets, and you ended up giving me one of them because you didn't need to. And so that was the first night. We were your mom was like, and you can wear them to Epcot tomorrow for his birthday. And I was like, well, okay, that answers my question of what I'm wearing tomorrow. Okay, day one, your 21st birthday, honey.
Yeah, I feel old now. So
Imagine how I feel.
Right? You're 24.
I'm almost
It's okay.
25.
It's cute. I like older women, so
I know.
So we need to talk about like your issue with your
Oh
past,
God.
because
I think in general we had issues though, because your family was not prepared for what was going to happen with tickets, because I feel like Disney World ticketing is so stupid for no reason.
yeah,
Like in the name of like being more convenient, it's actually like less convenient. Like you get your email confirmation, but you don't, it's not like Disneyland where you have your barcode on your phone
Mhm.
and that's it. Like that's not what you have in Florida. You have to like go to the booth, get your physical ticket, or you have to do Magic Mobile, or like, and it's like your
I had
family
to
wasn't
teach everyone how to like do mobile ordering, and I'm like, dude,
exactly. It was a lot, and I thought I was prepared with my Magic Mobile because I had my pass, and then yours for Animal Kingdom the next day. I had
Mhm.
it on my phone. I was like, I worked tirelessly for like 3 weeks to make sure that when I got to that gate, I would not have any problems.
Yeah,
Guess what happened? I had problems. What ended up happening, because I think a couple episodes I had reported that Disney had blocked off your birthday,
yeah,
and then I bought my 4-day pass instead of a 5-day. And lo and behold, a week later, they opened up your birthday. I couldn't go into my Disney experience to update my ticket. So I just bought a new Epcot pass. And when I got to the gate, instead of it saying, yeah, you have an Epcot reservation here, it said, no, you have a 4-day pass that starts tomorrow. And so I couldn't get in. And it took like 3 cast members and like 4 iPads and 2 computers to prioritize, quote unquote, prioritize my Epcot pass just so it would they saw that I had it in there.
yeah.
But for whatever reason, they were like, nope, we can't let you in until that little light glows green. So I felt so bad that I was holding you guys up.
No,
I was freaking
don't.
out.
It's all good.
I freaked out. I was like, I did not. That was like the exact opposite of what I wanted, was to hold your family up on your birthday. I worked so hard to make sure that didn't happen, and that's exactly what happened.
It's just the way that the computers work. It's not you.
It was Disney World. I will always resent Disney World's ticketing system. I thought Magic Mobile was going to be easier, and they were like, nope, you still have problems. So, thank you, Walt Disney World. Appreciate that.
So my dad got like the giant like photo pass, which is cool. So we have like
Your dad
hundreds
was
and hundreds
hilarious.
of photos.
Your dad was so funny. Every time he saw a photo pass, picture, everybody
Picture.
I paid he's like, I paid so much money. We're taking pictures.
So we did the photo pass in front of the Epcot ball, and then we did the 360 camera, which
was cool.
super cool. I am getting the photos today, so I'll send you all of
good.
them.
Please do, because there was one that the Epcot ball guy took where he was like, it was so funny. He was like, he looked at us and he was like, boyfriend, girlfriend. We were like, yeah. And he was like, and then he went on a story about how like his nephew was getting engaged. And I just looked at you and I was like, oh.
Hello.
So it was super funny. And kind of awkward, not gonna lie, but
we actually didn't do that much that day. It didn't feel like.
As I was writing these down, I was like, we didn't do a lot of attractions. We just walked around a lot. We started with, of course, Madam Spaceship Earth with Dame Judi Dench, and we called Jared and everything. We were like, Jared, it's time, and he was like, it's Dame Judi Dench.
And of course, we did Living with the Land and the Christmas overlay, which was
I totally do not remember. We discovered that it had been 13 years since I've been to Disney World. So in a part that wasn't Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
So I did not remember Living with the Land at all. So it was really nice. And like reacquainting myself with it. And then like also looking at it from your perspective, because I know you love that ride so much. So it was a lot more special to me. What happened next, babe?
We went to Chefs de France.
It threw off our whole World Showcase experience, but you know what? We did it anyway.
Yeah, and no one ate, so that was a thing.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, we did have a big breakfast. I'll give it that. But lunch was at like 2. So I don't know why we were so like not about it.
So everyone just got like appetizers and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
then
your
the
family
only thing we got was like creme brulees.
You and I got creme brulees, and everybody else had like French onion soup. Your dad had escargot and was very excited about it. I got to sit down and talk to your mom and your brother for a little bit, which was super fun. And then we got you your first legal drink.
Woo! Woo! I drank so much on that trip. I'm surprised I didn't. I'm surprised I didn't die.
The week after I left, it was literally just him being like, "I'm drunk at Disney World again."
Hi.
And I was like, how nice. So we were in France for lunch, so that threw off our whole around the world thing. We couldn't start in Canada or Mexico. We started in France.
Yeah, we started like halfway through. It was weird.
We got a hate comment on our Kissing Around the World video being like, "You missed 2 countries." And I'm like, well, that's too bad.
It wasn't our fault.
That's just what happened. That's just what happened. Sue me. Also, you can't drink beer, so why would we go to the other half of those?
Yeah, countries? Right? No.
So we were in France for lunch. We went towards Mexico. We started in Morocco. They had like hibiscus and herbal drinks, and it was fabulous.
It was really good. Yeah.
Really good. We did photo pass in Japan. And then we met Santa in America.
Oh my god! I can't believe we waited for
that. That was so funny. We waited like 10 minutes to meet Santa. It was so worth it. And I know you don't agree, but it was so worth it. Happy birthday.
Yeah, right.
And then there were sangrias in Italy, which was very nice. Right on the water too. Right on the water. The view was spectacular. We basically I went to go look at trains in Germany, and then like me and your dad and your brother talked about sports while y'all went to the bathroom. That was pretty much the entirety of our Germany experience. And then you and I took pictures in China while I desperately had to go to the bathroom.
We did
just a few. Yeah, we did our Kissing Around the World video.
And yeah. Okay.
And then you took pictures of the facade too.
Yeah.
Guess what we finally did? We finally
saw the Arkansas Banquet Hall in Norway.
Arkansas Banquet Hall.
Oh my god, the beauty.
God bless the Arkansas Banquet Hall. And he was like, "Yeah, we have to go to Akershus," and I was like, "Hello, you said it."
I don't know why it was so hard for me. So I could never say it, and then I actually did it, and now it's like
when you were in front of it, you were like, "Yeah," and when we were in front of it, you were like, "Akershus," and I was like, "You did it."
And then of course we did the Grand Fiesta tour for her in Mexico.
That was so fun. I loved sharing my culture with you for those 30 minutes, looking at the Day of the Dead exhibits, and your mom was like, "Take a picture of her. This is her culture," and it was really cute. We took a picture, and I think we did a good omen thing. We took a picture in front of the omen for the love, the couple, the bride and groom statue. So that was a good omen. So good juju there.
I actually really like that. They added a bunch of cocoa things inside the walkway.
It was actually cool. And what I loved about it is that it wasn't just Coco, it was Day of the Dead itself.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And it was Day of the Dead itself. And I do love Coco so much. I think what I love the most about Coco is the fact that it's just my culture, but seen in a more fantastical light. And that's really what it was just my culture in a fantasy element kind of way, which I loved. And once we got out of Mexico, it started to drizzle.
Yeah, it was really weird because it was oh, it's gonna be so clear. There's no.
Your dad was like, "It's gonna be clear skies and it's gonna be hot," and you kept telling him that, but it started to rain.
It didn't start to rain. It started to pour.
Yeah, the sun went down and we got in line for test track, and there was a little announcement over the PA saying that the rain could get heavier and close down the attraction entirely. We hadn't even gotten inside yet, so we decided we were just gonna hop out and get food.
Yeah.
And we ate first off at the holiday booth in Mexico.
The chorizo tamales.
Chorizo tamales, a very traditional holiday meal. Chorizo tends to be special for my family, and tamales are also a holiday treat. So that's very special that I got to share that with you.
It was good. Yeah.
It was really good. But then the rain got so bad.
Yeah, we ran to Soren
Oh,
from like.
you guys had you and your dad had horchata margaritas
Oh my
or like
God, it was
martinis
so
or whatever.
gross. It was
And it was
so gross.
disgusting. Disgusting. Do not recommend. 0 out of 10. And then you escaped the rain. We went to Soren. You almost passed out at Soren.
Yeah, I should have
You
eaten.
almost passed out
I
on
was
me.
a little
I was really scared because like you would look at me and then you would look through me. And then you were like, and then you kind of like giggled at something I said, and then you closed your eyes and you like leaned against the wall, and I was like, "Are you good? Are
Yeah,
you okay?"
it was
and you
not
were
a
like,
good time.
"Yeah." But we got a good seat for it though. The cast
Yeah,
members
no.
gave us a special seat, so that was nice. And then we went over to Regal Eagle. You and I did, because at that
Mhm.
point when you were passing out in line, I looked at your family and I was like, he needs food.
Yeah, I hadn't eaten like at
We
all.
need to eat food now. So we went over to Regal Eagle in America, and they went on Figment because we didn't want to do Figment.
Yeah, well, who wants to do Figment? Like,
We
actually,
don't want to do Figment. So we, you had a burger and fries, and I had a side of baked beans with the burnt ends, and we kind of sat and talked and cuddled for a while. And I think we talked for so long that your family was like, "Hi, you were supposed to get fireworks viewing. What gives?" And
yeah, we were
like,
in there for
"Oh,
like an hour or
oops."
something.
And then we met them at a table for Harmonious viewing in the UK Pavilion. Here's where it gets unfortunate.
Yeah, it was so bad.
The
So
rain
it
came
literally
down.
it started pouring. So you guys
Mhm.
were like, you and my mom and my sister were hiding under the table in
Mhm.
the pouring rain.
It got
But
worse
we
when the rain got harder because the raindrops were coming down harder on my head than they were if I were just
standing.
standing up.
I actually wasn't that wet until
Mhm.
we started walking.
Yeah.
But
Your sweater, the one that you're wearing right now, was dry.
yeah,
And I'm going to put you on blast as a very sweet and loving boyfriend. He was completely dry in his little sweater, and he looked at me in a down jacket covered in water, and he was like, "I'll just give you this one because it's dry." And he gave me his sweater and then stood in his t-shirt in the pouring rain.
yeah, it's so fun.
Aww. Aww.
Ah,
Put a sound effect in there. Aww.
don't tell people that I'm actually emotional. But yeah, we
Um,
watched Harmonious and
for the first
it
time.
was really good. I really
It was
enjoyed it.
so good. And how do I put this lightly? Somebody once told me about Harmonious that it was all over the place and hard to keep track of because there were too many languages. And now, after seeing Harmonious, that comment feels wildly insensitive. And I resent the person who said that
It feels
because
yeah, it doesn't feel out of place at all.
I don't need to understand the words because I know the songs.
Yeah, exactly.
The point of the languages being like with these songs is that we already know the words. We know what they mean. Now we're just hearing it sung in their native language. And that was so artfully and tastefully done. You and I became Harmonious stans that night.
Yeah, and at the end they like shoot the fireworks from every country,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was
So
phenomenal.
it
I
was
loved that.
creative. Mm-hmm. It was so good. It was creative. It was tasteful. It was, and the point, it's called Harmonious for a reason. We speak different languages and come from different places, but we all live in harmony. That's the point of the show. And the person who told me that that show is bad because of those elements did not understand it. They did not understand the assignment. So yeet that person. So yeah, I loved it.
I thought it was yeah, it was fantastic. But what wasn't fantastic is we walked 2 miles in the pouring rain back
That
to
is
the
not a
car.
fantastic dream, listeners.
No. It was bad.
From UK to the car was 2 miles in the pouring rain.
And the entire like parking lot was completely flooded.
So. It was bad. We walked in puddles, like every single one of us, all 6 of us were just covered, completely soaked in water. And like we got in the car and y'all just started like stripping immediately. It was so funny. I was sitting there and I'm like freezing cold, and I look over and you and your brother are just like going at it with no layers, and I'm like, hello. What is happening here?
And then we all got sick.
Yeah, you and I, due to standing in the rain for a long time, you and I got dreadfully sick. So, not fun. Not COVID, but
Yeah, we didn't get COVID. I'm surprised.
we both got terrible flus. Terrible. And it got worse into day 2.
Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom.
This trip was so fun. This was so
my
fun.
favorite. I'm so happy that you enjoyed it because I know you didn't like it. And I was like, I don't care if he doesn't like this park. I'm going to have the best day ever. And then it was still raining when I woke up.
Yeah, it was cold.
I literally looked at you and I was like, no.
But yeah, we had to like stop at Walmart before we even left because we needed raincoats because it was pouring rain again.
We did not prepare for that at all. I didn't know it was going to rain so hard until the day I left. So It was bad. We got dropped off at Animal Kingdom in the pouring rain, and immediately we went to go get ponchos because that's how hard it was raining that our coats were just not doing it for us. And I think my shoes were pretty bad. I don't know about yours, but my shoes were completely covered.
They weren't too bad, but yeah. And then we also had to get rain ponchos too. So we had giant rain jackets and rain ponchos. So it literally looked like we were like going on Splash Mountain in the middle of like winter.
Yeah, it did. It was hilarious. We looked so dumb. But you know,
it worked.
And Animal Kingdom, of all places where nothing is indoors, was not fun. Magic Kingdom I would have probably been better with, but Animal Kingdom is all outside.
You want to talk about my admittance?
I do. The first ride that we ran straight to was Dinosaur because indoor queue. We were like, "What has an indoor queue?" Dinosaur. 5-minute wait. Let's go. I did not go on Dinosaur. Period. Last time I was there, my family has just never had a desire to go on it. But I know that you had this age-old argument that Dinosaur is better than Indiana Jones. So I thought, let's just go. Let's see what it's like. We get there. The queue is unimpressive. It's empty. Besides the rain, it's empty. It's just like a lackluster museum.
Yeah.
And then you get to the lab part, which is pretty cool. You get to the time machine part where you get into the loading area. That was pretty cool. I'll give it that. And we get into the ride, and the ride for me it had like a Space Mountain-esque intro, but then you just kept stopping.
Yeah, because it wants to show
identify,
like the different types of dinosaurs and stuff that there were, and
it's
more of like it's kind of got this like Kilimanjaro safari kind of vibe.
Yeah, like a fast Kilimanjaro safari vibe, but like in comparison to Indiana Jones, I would say that was a letdown. And the storytelling was fine. I liked the horror aspects of it, but I didn't like that it was like, they're not gonna make it as you're going through the time tunnel. Like at that point, you're like, yeah, we're gonna make it. We're fine. It was very not underwhelming, but like not indie for me. That's what I kept thinking.
Indie is, it's better.
We got off and he looked at me and he went, Indie's better. And I went, shut up. You did not just say that. I called my mom and I was like, Mom, he said Indie is better than Dinosaur. And she was like, yeah.
But so the rain stopped. And we took photos in front of the Tree of Life, which was really pretty. They turned out really, really good. I'm proud of them.
They're really nice.
And then we went over to see the Festival of the Lion King.
Because Everest was down.
Yeah.
So we couldn't take advantage of the no rain, but
it was the show is everything.
We started to go over there and we saw the monkeys.
Yeah, the monkeys were swinging around.
There were some monkeys and they were like actively swinging, and I was like, it's the monkeys. And it reminded me of why I love that park so darn much. It's like the zoo.
So creative. Yeah,
it's like the zoo but better. It's like the best zoo you'll ever go to in your life. I love that park.
I've never really liked zoos, but like I like this one.
I like it's like the zoo but better.
Yeah.
That's why you like it, because it's like an actual good zoo. And then we saw Festival of the Lion King. Definitely abbreviated and changed because of COVID to keep, things short and sweet. But I still liked it.
I thought it was really good for what they had. Like, honestly, like I kind of liked this one more.
Somebody looked over at me during Can You Feel the Love Tonight and was like, "Oh."
I don't know what you're talking about.
Obviously you liked it.
I loved it. It was so good. Like
Like,
that's the one thing that I missed.
They weren't swinging in the air, but he made up for that by being like, "Oh," at me. So
Anyway, the rain picked up again, so we headed to Flame Tree for lunch. I got a pulled pork sandwich, and you got the mac and cheese with pulled pork topped with onion rings, which looked really, really good.
It's so good. I'm so sad that you couldn't eat it. It was so good. And my favorite part, and the reason why I have a fan theory that Encanto's going to Animal Kingdom permanently is Encanto's stage was set across from the Flame Tree barbecue. There is no indication of a meet and greet starting anytime soon. But the Latin music loop featured an instrumental version of the Family Madrigal, which I could hear from the Flame Tree mobile order line. So I'm literally standing there next to Sky being like, "Cousin Dolores,
he wouldn't stop singing.
Drop. Camila shapeshifts, Antonio gets his gift today." And he was like, "I haven't seen this movie. I don't know what you're talking about."
But yeah,
and I was like, "She's the perfect golden child," and it was so cute. I loved it. I'm very excited. I hope.
They do more. We saw the kite tails too.
That was actually later, honey. We didn't.
I know,
see it
but it was
at
Flame Tree.
Yeah, they have a really good view for Flame Tree. We didn't see it until Christmas Eve, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But the food was spectacular. I loved it. Super yummy. And then we decided to wait in line for 50 minutes for Navi River Journey because neither of us had ever done it before.
Oh my God. What did you think?
That queue was utterly disgusting and boring.
It was so bad.
It was so bad. We probably filmed more memes of each other in that line because we were so darn bored.
Yep. Pretty much.
But it was so bad. And the ride itself was stunning.
Oh, it was so pretty, yeah.
I think it was worth the 50-minute wait? Absolutely not. No. Especially for that boring of a queue. I feel like if they had continued that from the ride into the queue, if we had sat for 50 minutes in that and then gotten in the boat and like
I feel like that would have that would have been worth it.
That would have been worth
everything all lit up and
be in the neonness for a short amount of time, like watching the people walk by and the tree, the trees and the bugs and the creatures. And then Navi boats come by, you hop in the boat, you see the animatronic and you're done. That would have been worth it as an entire experience for me. But the queue was so boring. It's just tent, cave, and then glow in the dark for 2 seconds. Literally, the ride is like 30 seconds long. And then you leave. And you're like, 50 minutes for that? Really?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't worth it.
It was gorgeous, though. It was so
really
beautiful.
Pretty, and there was like a bunch of stuff to see, and like you feel like super immersed in it. But like when we got off, we were like, that was it?
I'd walk onto that ride.
Waited. No, well, yeah, I would too, but like
walk onto it, yeah.
I wouldn't wait more than like 20 minutes for it though.
Not at all. That was way too much. And they have a whole like soda machine in line. That's how long it is.
Yeah.
But it was pretty. The ride
Which I kind of wish they did for Rise too. Because you're in there for actually no. I waited for Rise at Hollywood Studios, and it said like it was 45 minutes, and it turned out to be like 40.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, both times we waited for it, so it was super super short. So if you go to Hollywood Studios and you see like a really high wait time, it's not at all.
It's usually not that long. Yeah, usually. No.
But yeah, by 2 p.m. the rain had completely stopped, so we decided to head out, and we got to do Everest, which was fun. We did Everest.
We saved Everest for Everest Safari and Flight of Passage for Christmas Eve because we knew we'd be coming back, so we decided we were done.
That's pretty much everything.
Yeah, we got stopped by the Merry Menagerie.
That was so cute.
It was cute, and the Arctic seal went up to me and like put his little face by me, and I got to pet him, and it was really cute.
Yeah.
I looked so lame, but I loved it. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, here we go.
So here we go. I think this was my favorite part of that day of Tuesday was that, we Ubered back to the house for a while and we got ready for our first dinner reservation because we
Yeah.
got reservations galore for this trip.
Ooh,
And
there's so many good places.
So we went to Sanaa for our very first one on Tuesday night. Our Uber driver dropped us off at Jumbo House
Instead of Kidani.
instead of Kidani Village, and that caused a lot of stress, at least for you. I tried to keep a cool head. I don't know if I did.
Well, I didn't know, like, because we had like 15 minutes to get there and like set and everything, and the walk itself is like 20 minutes to get there.
Yeah, it was really stressful.
And we had no idea where like the shuttle was. We didn't know when it was coming. So it was like, it was really annoying.
Yeah, the way for the noobs, Animal Kingdom Lodge is two different buildings. It is the Jumbo House in Kidani Village, and this resort is huge to
It's
accommodate
gigantic.
for as much space for the animals as possible. And it essentially what ended up happening was that the walk from the Jumbo House lobby to the Kidani Village lobby where Sanaa is about 15 to 20 minutes. And they have a shuttle that's in place to take you from one house to the other. So
And
we
it's
had to
supposed
wait
to
for the
be
shuttle.
there, every 5 minutes or so. But we didn't know that at first.
We had some sweet cast members who were like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You'll get there. Here's where the shuttle is. I'll go with you. They were really nice.
Yeah, it was cool. But Sanaa was phenomenal. As always. It was so good.
I actually wrote down which restaurants provided you with a full menu for your allergies.
Yeah.
Because I think that was so cool. So we ate at Sanaa. You had an allergy menu at Sanaa. They full on gave you your own menu. We started with the non-service, and there was one gluten-free option for you. And then I had traditional and garlic naan. And then for both of us, we had about 10 different sauce options, which included like a roasted red pepper hummus, coriander chutney, pickled garlic, all kinds of. We went to town on that pickled garlic.
It was so good.
We lost it. You had the grilled New York strip steak. I don't remember what your fixins were, but you had the steak and it looked fantastic.
Yeah, it was. I think it was white rice and like asparagus or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. Yeah.
And then I had a butter chicken over basmati rice and a chickpea wat, which is really great. And then we ended with 50th anniversary African triple chocolate mousse featuring chocolate from Ghana and Madagascar. But the real treat of Sanaa
was our waiter. Josh was an icon.
Josh, we love you. We loved Josh so much. We when Josh ID'd him, he complimented his wallet, and I thought he was complimenting my wallet. And so like that from then on, he was just laughing with us, and he's been to Philly before, so he knew all my hot spots. And he was just like, his wife works at Topolino's, we found out. He also works at Topolino's. He likes working there better than Sanaa, which is fine. We loved him. He gave us free champagne at the end.
Yeah, it was awesome.
He complimented Sky on being a good boyfriend.
Oh my god, you should tell them about the no.
Sorry, that was so funny. So we were so fun fact, when I eat gluten things or peanut things or anything that he's allergic to, I cannot kiss him, touch him, or share anything with him because of the contamination. So I have to, after every meal, I wash my hands and then I rinse out with mouthwash. And we were planning on just splitting the dessert. And he was like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And I was like, no, it's fine. I'll go wash my hands. I'll go rinse my mouth out and then we can share it. He didn't hear me say that.
No, I didn't.
So,
I had no idea.
He did not hear me say that. So when Josh came and took our order for dessert, the reason why I wanted to go to Sanaa was for this triple chocolate mousse. Let me tell you something. I wanted to go there for that.
She talked about this for so long.
I have been gushing about it since it got released. So We canceled Rainforest Cafe because I was like, is that the chocolate place? He was like, yeah. And I'm like, we're going. So we ordered dessert, and Sky inquires about his allergies, and they make sure it's okay for him. And he says, yeah, okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll have that one. And he looks at me like I'm gonna order my own. And I was like, I thought we were gonna split. And Sky says to me, no, you get your own. And Josh laughed so hard. Josh looks at Sky and goes, dude, you're ready. He's like, it took me years before I could tell my wife, no, you get your own. I'm not sharing with you. You're going to eat most of it.
Well, I knew you were going to eat it all anyway. So I was like, you might as well just do it.
Yeah. You were like, no. Like, it's for allergy purposes. And I was like, I was going to wash my mouth out. And you were like, oh, well, you're going to eat it anyway. So get your own.
Yeah, it's fine.
And Josh watched that whole interaction happen, and he laughed so hard that he gave us free champagne. So
yeah, it was great.
It was really cute. Josh was the best. We loved it. Whenever Josh came over to us, we felt like we were like making him uncomfortable. We were too like lovey-dovey with each other. We were like, oh, Josh is here. Okay, we have to be cool.
No, he like loved it though. I was like,
Josh
at that point, I was like,
fun.
you want to just sit with us? Like, just hang out.
We were like, you want to hang out with us? He became our friend very quickly. So I hope we see Josh again, maybe at Topolino's, fingers crossed.
Yeah, if we get in there.
Oh God, I hope. So then we did resort hopping. I think most of our evenings consisted of, we did a lot of resort hopping. We got a lot done. We thought we were going to do it all in one night, but I think we spread it out very well. So we took the shuttle from Animal Kingdom Lodge to Hollywood Studios and hopped the Skyliner. My first time on the Skyliner.
Yeah, what do you think?
It was so fun.
I love it.
So
it's
precious.
adorable. Yeah.
I love it so much. I could sit on that thing for hours. It was so fun. So we got dropped off at the Riviera for the first one. And I got to see
you saw the
murals, the mosaics, the giant chessboard, the pool. Yeah. We went into the
hallway with all the movie posters of all the
posters in
the
French.
Changed ones for the French. Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah. It was really pretty. I loved that. And then we got into the Skyliner one more time.
If you go upstairs, there's the first Mickey Mouse doll.
The first Mickey Mouse. Yes, I have a picture of it.
Yeah, with like Walt's hat from when he was exploring Italy and the French Riviera, and like that was where he loved to travel to. So like the fact that they have that first doll in the first memory is super, super cool. I love it.
Super cool. Very special. I loved it. Very pretty. And then we hopped onto the Skyliner again and headed over to the Epcot stop, where we walked over to the boardwalk, and we had an interesting experience at the boardwalk. And something happened to you that I don't think you were expecting to feel.
So for like the longest time, I had always been like, I want to get married at the boardwalk just because of how pretty it is, and you can see like the Epcot ball and the other resorts, and it's just a really cool environment to like be around.
It's a really cool place. I totally agree. However,
when we were there, I was like, no, this isn't it. This isn't us.
He had his first like, this is not our wedding. And I was like, oh, that's too bad, because I really liked it. I did nothing to tell you I didn't like it. I was like, this is a great spot. A lot of interactiveness. It's on the water. I love the pavilion for it. View of the ball was great. I loved it. And you were just like, no, this isn't it. And I was like, okay, this isn't it.
I mean, what do you think? Would you want to do it there, or?
If you don't want to do it there, I don't want to do it there. I think if you wanted to do it there, I would be more than happy to have it. I mean,
it could go back. But...
It's so pretty. It was gorgeous. Maybe because it was so rain. We went back the next day just to see it in the daylight to see if we would feel any different. And apparently you didn't. But we'll get back to that later. So yeah, we hung out at the boardwalk for a while. I saw the pool.
The pool is super gorgeous. Cool. I love it. Pool. It's one of the best pools on property.
Very cool. And so we got picked up from the boardwalk in an Uber, and I fell asleep on his lap. And when I woke up, my whole left leg was completely numb that I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
So I freaked out and I walked into the house. And when I started to feel feeling in my leg again. I went to go get my phone, and it was gone.
Her phone was left in the Uber.
It was left in the Uber because I was worried about not feeling my leg at all. So we struggled for a while figuring out what to do.
Turned into like a 3-hour ordeal to try to get the phone back.
Yeah, it was a lot of distress and a lot of tears. And it's a piece of advice for anyone that this happens to. If you have another Apple device, go ahead and ping it from that device. You can go ahead and hit go into your Find My iPhone app and then hit play sound on your phone tab, and your phone will start playing sound. So then anyone who is near it can hear it without your ringer being on. You don't have to have your phone's on vibrate, it'll still go off. So we pinged it about 3 or 4 times, and then you called my phone, and the driver picked up and brought it back eventually. We had to pay the guy to do it, but he did it. So that's just I put that in there as like an anecdote. Like if anyone ever ends up in that situation, that's what I did to fix the problem.
So now whenever we go into an Uber or a Lyft, she gives me her phone because I don't trust her.
I'm like, you hold this for me, please.
Yeah.
We have our relationships at that point where we just like, here, hold my phone. Here's my password, hold my phone.
No, I don't care really. Yeah, just go through it. Have fun. Explore.
Yeah. While y'all are worried about your boyfriend's cheating on you, my boyfriend gives me his phone with his passcode and everything. He's just like, here.
All right. So day 3, Magic Kingdom. I feel like today was the most we did, if that makes sense. Like it was a pretty packed day.
It was pretty wall to wall, and I feel like that's because there's so much to do.
Yeah,
in Magic Kingdom. So the rain was finally over, but it was cold, which basically means, we definitely got the flu. Because 2 days of rain and then freezing cold. Yes, we got sick. And to make it worse, the monorail line was too long, so we actually went on the ferry.
Yeah, which was even more cold.
Which was worse.
No closing like areas on that boat. It's just completely open, so not great.
Sea salt, wind, cold, rain, water, all that stuff. We got sick. Yeah. So I discovered, and I feel like this day was a lot of, because I haven't been to Magic Kingdom in 13 years.
Yeah.
Which, aged me a lot, but I was 12 last time I was there. And I don't remember any of it. I don't remember what makes Disneyland so special to me versus Florida. And this is a good time for me to remember the things that I don't like about Florida's Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
So Main Street in California I thought was better because Florida's feels too crowded, like there's too much going on.
No, I agree.
I remember it being bigger than ours, but ours is shorter but more spread out, and there's less on it that I don't feel like I'm overwhelmed by theming. So I liked that about ours, but Florida's was not it for me at all.
Yeah.
And then we started in Tomorrowland. To escape the cold, we went straight to the Carousel of Progress, which was
just an icon anyway. Like it's just fun to be on and
sweet.
Experience. And
I like Florida's Tomorrowland better than ours, though.
I do too. It feels more, I don't want to say open, but like more developed.
A little bit. It does feel a little bit more developed and more like they know what they're doing with it. We don't know what we're doing with ours.
Yeah, no.
And then we went to Space Mountain, and we got to skip like half the line because we were a party of 2, which is great.
Yeah, it was nice. That's cool.
But the ride was
super lame. It was bad.
Lame.
I think the thing that Disneyland has over it is the music.
Yeah. This one felt like Matterhorn in the dark, which is not what I like. I don't want Matterhorn to be in the dark. I want Matterhorn to be Matterhorn. But this one was like, there was no music. There wasn't any kind of fantastical element about it. It was like a roller coaster in the dark. That's really all it was. And I was like, this is kind of weird.
I do like the exit queue more than the ride, which is
the exit
interesting.
queue was dope.
Yeah, it's awesome to like see all the different like fake planets and like places you could explore and go to, which is cool.
I agree. So Oh yeah. So Jared, I have the influence of Jared Covert. I felt like I just felt Jared's presence with me on this trip. I almost bought the new Tigger Sherpa.
Oh my God.
He went to the bathroom and it took longer than 5 seconds. So I had a Tigger Sherpa in my hand, and you were like, no,
No.
no, no, no. You're like, no, this thing is ugly. You're not going to get it. Um,
I'm so nice to you.
I say that all the time, and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I am nice to you all the time. I don't know what the sarcasm is for.
And then we headed over to the People Mover.
Mhm. I
And
love this story.
I didn't notice that this happened, but apparently she did.
Something that I deliberately did. The People Mover has a tendency to stop and start a lot. So when we turned into the Space Mountain portion, was that it? Space Mountain, or was it Buzz Lightyear or something like that?
It was Space Mountain.
In Space Mountain. When we turned into the Space Mountain portion of the People Mover ride, it was pitch black in this little hallway, and the ride just stops. And the overhead speaker is like, hang tight, we'll get you going in a second. And so it's me and my loving boyfriend sitting in a car in the dark. What do? I turn over and I'm like, let's make out. So we start making out in the dark hallway. And I didn't realize that they had turned the lights on in the hallway. So all I hear is the car directly behind us going, oh, they turned the lights on. And I went, oh no. And I pulled away from you and I looked behind me, and these people are staring at us. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, they were really uncomfortable.
They were really uncomfortable. I'm so sorry, but I seized the moment. What can I say?
Yeah, I purposely didn't turn around because I was like, I don't want to.
No, you didn't.
See
You
that.
were like, nope, I'm just gonna live in the moment. And I was like, no, I'm gonna thoroughly embarrass myself.
So we left and we went to Beaches and Cream for our lunch reservation at the Beach Club Resort. This was so good.
You loved Beach Club. I think
I did.
Beach Club became your
surprised.
new love. It was cool. It was very beautiful. I think it was beautiful in its simplicity too.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it so nice, is that the Beach Club doesn't try too hard to be anything more than what it is, a nice hotel.
Yeah.
And the pool area was so quaint and gorgeous, very like these New England vibes that I like. The shipwreck on the beach overlooking the boardwalk in Epcot. We saw there's a wedding venue on the beach, and then there's a wedding venue in a pavilion by Yacht Club. So we were looking at that and we were like, oh,
Hello.
okay.
Yeah, I think that became my number one place of, yeah, I could see myself getting married here.
Yeah, and then I could do a Little Mermaid theme because it's on the beach.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
With the shipwreck
I think
and
that'd
everything.
be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cute. And then we had reservations at Beaches and Cream, but we couldn't find it because
We got
neither of us have
lost
been there before.
it wasn't really an hour, but it was a really long time.
It was a while.
trying
We
to
got
get
lost.
through the hotel because the hotel
Yeah.
was huge.
And they have construction going on too, which did not help.
Yeah. No.
But we got to actually like stop and look at things because we had gotten lost, so that was really great.
Mhm.
Beaches and Cream. Oh, did I love that place? I am a stan. I'm a full-blown stan. I had a cherry ice cream soda float, which is basically like cherry ice cream, vanilla ice cream, and then just soda water. And I was like, hello. And then I got a French dip sandwich with tater tots.
It looked really good.
It looked so good. And then you got a Shirley Temple and a cheddar bacon ranch sandwich.
It was really good. Highly recommend that place. It was, oh my
So
God.
good.
It was for like a low budget, it was totally worth everything.
A low budget lunch stop in a quality hotel. Absolutely.
Like I would say it's better than Grand Floridian's dining, like their cafe.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, well, that place, that menu and that vibe is also very me too.
Mhm.
So I really like, it's like the soft, like the soft palette of the restaurant color, the old timey theme. The
Right.
energy is really high. Everything's sugar and meat, which I
Mhm.
love,
Yeah.
which is also me. So I really, that's my new favorite lunch place for sure. I will make an effort to get out there every time.
Yeah, so we took a shuttle from the boardwalk back to Magic Kingdom. And we started by walking through the castle to Fantasyland. Because she hasn't really been to New Fantasyland. So we wanted to like go through it and experience it.
I saw it 12 years ago when I was there. 12 years ago, something like that. Maybe a little bit sooner than that. Or later than that. They had announced it and they were starting it.
Right.
So Gaston's actually, you know what? Nothing. A Little Mermaid was there, and that was it. It was like empty. There was no mine train. There was after Winnie the Pooh, it was barren, and then Little Mermaid. So, when I looked at it, I was like, "This feels a lot more crowded than it was before," and that's true. Because everything is there now. So it was nice to kind of see it all completed for the first time. I'm sorry. Fantasyland kicks California's behind.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's like Magic Kingdom's best
seeing it's so detailed and so pure, and I
like
love
the way
it.
The actual look of it itself is so much more immersive, and there's so much more to do. So I do like it better. I think the rides themselves in California are better than the rides that they have in, like, Peter Pan's better. Small World is better. Snow White is better. Pinocchio
Snow White
is better.
was so bad. We went on Snow White, or not Snow White.
Small World.
And it was horrible.
Horrendous. So we're walking around New Fantasyland, and I finally seen it, and my sweet, sweet, sweet boyfriend looks at me and says, "Okay, you've waited long enough. Let's go see PhilharMagic."
Yeah, we did it.
I love Florida's PhilharMagic. I love it. And this reminded me why I love it so darn much. It's so much better than California. The theater was made for PhilharMagic. That's why I love it so much.
Yeah.
The Coco scene made me cry. I sobbed. Like all of my favorite, like Coco was there, A Whole New World was there. Part of Your World was in that, and all of my favorite songs. And I'm sitting next to him, like holding his hand, and I'm like, I'm gonna cry. And he's like, okay.
And you did. You did. It's okay.
I did cry.
And then we headed over to Splash Mountain.
Interesting.
How do you like that, honestly? Like,
I like Florida's better, and I'll tell you why.
You don't get soaked?
I like the log.
Like the way it's the 2-person, or
yeah, no, I like riding that log. It's
like riding that wood.
It's a lot. It's more. I feel like it's more spacious, but more protected. So I, a person who can't get her hair wet, liked it more.
Yeah.
It was like twice the thrill, but less water.
Less worry of, I'm going to get soaked every 5 seconds.
Exactly. In California, I feel like that log is built to be like, well, you're getting wet today. Have fun. And that's it.
The laughing place drop.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That double dip into the laughing place is terrible.
As we were coming out, we saw the Once Upon a Christmas Time parade, and it sucked.
We hated it.
I don't know why Floridians love their parades, because their parades are trash. And
Christmas. Ew, get it out. I hate it.
Yeah, I was talking to her about it. I was like, why don't they just bring ours there? Ours is so good.
Once Upon a Christmas Time sucks. Booty You, the song sucks. Like, I can't.
And then
I need more substance than that.
We went to Tiki Room for You. And I fell asleep in like 5 seconds.
I didn't hate it. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it. I think if our Tiki Room was in Florida's actual space, it would be better, because they cut out way too much in Florida, and it's obvious what they cut out. The pacing is off. They cut the audio, there's a little bit of a gap there. It's weird. But their room, the way that they decorated it, like the Polynesian with the volcano in the back on the windows, and there's a lot more detail into theming in Florida's actual space.
Yeah.
So California's show in Florida space, perfection. That would be great.
Beautiful. We actually decided to take the walkway from Magic Kingdom to the Grand Floridian
We were early. We were like, "Oh, we got nothing else to do. Let's just go."
And it's beautiful. I love that walkway. It's like it's long, but it
Beautiful.
feels really
And
special.
yeah, we're walkers too, especially when it comes to like just quiet quality time walks. We're walkers in that. So that was perfect for us. And every line was too long for us to get to the monorail in time for dinner. So we decided we were just going to walk it.
And I honestly think it was worth it. Like it was
so
worth
nice.
the walk. Yeah.
And we bumped right into a Disney wedding when we got to the Grand Floridian. And this is why I don't want a Cinderella horse-drawn carriage at our wedding, because when they had it at the Grand Floridian waiting to pick up the bride, tourists were literally getting into it and taking pictures, and cast members were allowing it.
Yeah, no.
And that made me super uncomfortable. I'm not even the bride at that wedding. And I was like, no, get out. That's her carriage. Leave. No. That made me super uncomfortable. And I feel like the basicness of that is such a tourist draw that people are going to just be stupid and climb into my horse-drawn carriage. Like, no, I don't want that. Bye.
We saw the penguin fountain, which is themed to Mary Poppins, which is really cool. There's also a bunch of like cakes inside the lobby that they do every year that look so insanely like delicate. I thought like there was one that literally I thought was like a piece of artwork, and then I realized it was food.
It was chocolate. Yeah, it looked amazing. And we saw the wedding chapels, the chocolate sculptures, and the gingerbread house in the main lobby. The main lobby was a tourist hub, man. There were so many people in that lobby. But I got some gingerbread from my mama. That was nice.
And then we had dinner,
which she loved, by the way. She loved it. Citrico's for dinner, which was, for those of you who are longtime listeners, that was the restaurant that we voted through the bracket challenge as the best restaurant on Disney World's property. So it was interesting to kind of see that for the first time. The view, the lobby itself was gorgeous. I'll give it that. We dressed up and we waited at a table that like overlooked the Grand Floridian, which was gorgeous. And then they gave us a table in one of the forest dining room in the back by the window, like right by the window.
That was beautiful. You could see everything.
Gorgeous. Yeah, it was so beautiful. And I wrote this down. They gave you an allergy menu.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I thought that was cool. And to drink, you had the purple penguin that came in that little canister that I like so much from Amazon. And I got the
Paradise Punch.
And it had a little, both mocktails, which is odd an evening. But we had the little umbrellas. I had the little umbrella and like a sprig of mint on it. And I thought it was cute. We started onto this trend where we have now started ordering the same thing.
Oh, it's weird.
Almost every meal.
Yeah.
There was like 3 meals straight where we just ordered the same thing. So we got guava barbecue short rib, which I had been thinking about for a long time. And it had the poblano sauce on the bottom, the green sauce, and then Brussels sprouts.
It's pretty good. I liked it.
We loved it. It was so
it was good.
And it was on cheddar grits as well. I forgot to mention there's cheddar grits in that as well.
The question is, would you go back?
Oh yeah, I would. And I think one of the reasons why I said that when it was all said and done is because these menus will always keep changing.
Oh yeah.
So I'd love to see what else they can come up with. And I also would like to try the sweet corn bisque. I didn't get to try that one last time, so I would love to try that this time.
It does feel like, if you're not really like a classy person, it doesn't feel that high end, but it's very worth it. Kind of like a mid stepping off point, which is cool.
Eric, if you're new to fine dining, it was a great way to start.
Yeah,
a great starting point.
This really boosted our next dining that we went to.
Oh yeah, it was. We did the way that we had our dinner reservations lined up. I think we did a really good job, like going from like sort of high end to getting into high end territory to like high end. We were ready. So
this is it. Yeah.
We walked to the Polynesian from the Grand Floridian along the beach to get to Trader Sam's. However, the wait was an hour long, but I got to see Trader Sam's and that was cute.
Yeah. So we
Um,
decided to take the monorail back to the Magic Kingdom, and we did Mine Train for Armida's first time.
oh, I don't understand the hate. I don't get it. I loved it.
It's the best ride at Magic Kingdom
It
for
was
sure.
the best ride at Magic Kingdom. And I'll tell you why. The swinging aspect of the cart. No one told me it does that. I
Mhm.
didn't know that. And if I had known that, I would have changed my perspective on Attraction Rewind for months, because that changes the way that it moves you around. It doesn't have to be that fast when the turns are sharper, because your cart's literally going like that
Mhm.
before you turn. And I love that midway through we get the animatronics. I love that it has that like Matterhorn and carousel vibe that Jerry
Yeah.
was talking about,
Yeah.
like a Fantasyland thrill ride. I love Fantasyland. I love thrill rides. It was it hit that spot that I've been craving for so long. So loved that. When
And
I
we
just
yeah, we did Small World and it was atrocious. It was really
ew,
bad.
ew. For those of you who have never been on Florida Small World, don't.
Don't
It's
do it. Yeah.
and I'm going to tell you why, because it's a continent per room, not like the in how do I put this? The rooms are smaller. They're taller, but they're smaller in terms of how long you're in there. So you're hearing like 5 different languages at once. And it's odd. And you spend like 5 seconds, not even, in per country that you're in. So
Yeah,
like
it
you're in
doesn't
London
flow.
for 5 seconds, then you're in Scotland, then you're in Ireland, then you're in Africa, and then you're in China. You're in China and Morocco at the same time. And that's odd to me. I don't like that. Um, and they do a better job of like distinguishing. In California, you get to have a moment in every single room.
Yeah.
And in this one, it's like, nope, you're in, you're out, you're done. And so it felt like everything was too mushed together for me. So I didn't like that at all. We went on Big Thunder Mountain. The queue was gorgeous.
Oh
I
yeah, for
actually
sure.
really enjoyed Florida's queue for Big Thunder. Do I think that both rides are fine. I don't think one is better than the other. I liked them both equally. That being said, I like Mine Train, and Mine Train is still my favorite Magic Kingdom ride, and Big Thunder is still my favorite Disneyland ride. Um, I think I was just underwhelmed by Big Thunder because of Mine Train.
Yeah, you're a thrill seeker.
Um, and then we took a break and we ate Disneyland popcorn in Pico's Bill, which is, he explained to me, is the Rancho of Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so I called my Rancho cast member friend Derek, and I was like, "Hi, Derek, I'm in Rancho in Florida." And he was like, "Actually, we borrowed costumes from Pico's Bill, so yeah, it is
Yeah,
Rancho in Florida."
yeah.
Um, but the interior was gorgeous. I thought the theming
It's
was
really
great.
pretty, yeah.
But we sat there for a while and chilled. Then we started to get really tired. We were supposed to actually record Villains League that night, and we were just pooped.
Yeah, we still need to do it. I'm excited. It'll be fun.
Yeah. So then we finished it off with another round of Mine Train, and we were pretty much dead and headed home from there.
Day 4, Hollywood Studios. So this one, we actually went straight to Runaway Railway because it was your first time.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about Runaway?
Oh, I thought it was spectacular. And I think maybe it's because I had coffee that morning, but I went into that queue and I felt like the best version of myself that morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just felt like there was something in me that was like, this is going to be our place. Like this is going to be the park that's like the most you and me that it's going to get.
Yeah.
So I went in and I was like excited. And I was like, let's go. It's Hollywood Studios. It was previously my least favorite park. So I was like, I don't know. So it was odd that I was like ready to go. But when I got in, I was high energy. I was excited. The music was getting me going. The posters were super cute. The theming of going into the movie theater was spot on. I still don't know how they make the screen explode. I love that.
And you like walk into the movie. Yeah.
Walk into the movie. Loved that. By the time we got to the front of the line, you and I were like dancing. We were like, let's go. And you get on and It's not a thrill ride, so that will always deter me. But
It kind of is though, because it's like, well, I mean, it's kind of like Rise, but
yeah, like Rise in that way. But it was immersive. It's mostly
yeah,
screens, but it's immersive.
it's really
And I
immersive.
love that. I love that I was in that movie. I was in that cartoon and it felt so real. And there's that one part where you go right into this room and you fall off the waterfall.
It feels real, yeah.
That was so impressive. That impressed me. And then you go into the room and it's the mountain range, and then you go into the side room, you fall down the waterfall, you back out and you're underwater in the same room. And I was like, oh,
Sick.
hello. And even then, like the factory turning into, outside in the garden.
Yeah, the garden.
That was insane. And so I was impressed by the artistry of it. Was I thrilled? Kinda. But I was so blown away by the immersiveness of it that I actually really enjoyed myself.
Yeah. And then it was
Yeah, it was
also your
great.
first time on Rock and Roller Coaster as well.
So let me explain. I've done a lot of talking, but let me explain. I am not an upside down roller coaster person, or I haven't been, because when I was a child, I went on an upside down roller coaster and I threw up. And it was in like a small carnival in front of a lot of people. And I cried and I was very embarrassed. So I've never done it since. And that and straight drops too. Still can't do straight drops. I'll put that out there. Rise pretty much confirmed that for me, that I don't like when it just drops straight down like that. But upside down, I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. And there was a podcast episode where you were like, oh no, it's not that bad. You'll be fine. And I was like, but because you let me go on Small World the night before, I was like, okay, I'll suck it up. I'll do it. And I actually watched behind your back. I watched a ride POV with the lights on so I could prepare myself.
Oh boy.
So in case you want to know why I was hiding my phone from you, that's what I was doing. I watched 4 different ride POVs with the lights on.
Oh my god.
And you were like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. Because I was so scared. But I didn't want to freak you out. So we get in, we see the pre-show. I'm like, okay, there's not a lot of theming to help like immerse me in this world to distract me. So I'm still freaking out. And I get to the front and I'm like, okay, I can do this. When I watched the roller coaster go back and then whip forward, I was about to die. I felt myself prepare for my death. I was like,
oh, no.
I am gonna embarrass myself so bad on this ride. And I looked at you and I was like, I didn't know what to say. And I just looked at you and you were like, are you nervous? And I was like, yeah. And you graciously said, you can hold my hand. That's fine. Just hold my hand and we'll get you through it. And it's so funny because you knew exactly what I was nervous about. You saw me look at that thing and I was like, so we get to the front. I'm shaking. I'm holding your hand for dear life. We haven't even gotten on the ride yet. We get on. We get to the stop right in front of the sign. And I think what I liked was that I didn't know it was going to count down.
Yeah.
To the lift off, and you with your fingers did it. And so I looked at your hand and I was like, okay, it's coming. Okay, cool. I'm ready. And I'm holding your hand and we lift off and I literally stopped breathing and I'm squeezing dear life out of your hand. That first drop, I wanted to pass away quickly. And then by the first upside down curve, I was like, huh. I was able to enjoy myself for the rest of the ride. But when I got off, I was still holding your hand and I was like, I don't know if I can walk. Like I'm a little dizzy, but that was fun. It was pretty cool. Like 90% of it, I really liked. So that was my experience with my first upside down roller coaster in 16 years. So, love that for me.
I'm kind of going to skip around because I do have to leave in like 40 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was like the main, I guess, meat of that day was
Rock and roller coaster.
Rock and roller coaster. but we left and we actually went to what was it? California Grill.
Yes, we did.
It was amazing. What did you think?
Oh, that was such a wonderful experience. I feel like when you're paying for California Grill, you're paying for the view, you're paying for the service, you're paying for the fireworks viewing, the
Yeah.
observation deck, the wine cellar, all that. It was gorgeous. And the food was just fantastic. Like we were the first to be seated in a private room with a view of Epcot, and it was quiet, and it was just you and I. The sun
It
was
was
setting.
amazing. It was so cool.
Amazing. We watched the Epcot ball light up. Our first course was the heirloom apple salad with feta cheese, and that was amazing. We both died over that.
Yeah, no.
We had the pork tenderloin over goat cheese polenta. We both had that. First of all,
It's crazy
now we're
how much
starting
we
the
were like,
streak.
yeah, matching.
And then for dessert, I had the California cheese plate with Joffrey's California blend coffee, and then you had a special creme brulee they whipped up for you and your allergies. They also gave you an allergy menu, so I want to note that as well. And
we
then
tried to like go outside while we were eating and like
Mhm.
check it out and see like the sunset, but we couldn't. And right
Mhm.
as we were leaving the restaurant, they opened the doors and we got to go out onto the lookout and watch the fireworks over Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, we
And see
usually
'em.
yeah, we're smart people, and we usually skip fireworks to go on rides while the lines are down. But we decided to actually watch fireworks together that night, and it just so happened to be with that spectacular view overlooking Magic Kingdom. So that was
Mhm.
super special for me that was the first time that we had actually watched fireworks together.
Yeah.
Um, we took the bus to Disney Springs, and it faked snowed on us. So I got my little romantic fake snow moment. It was very
And you
nice.
got your Encanto Loungefly.
Yeah, somebody went into World of Disney with me and found the bag and was like, just get it already. Because I had been staring every day of this trip. I had been like, I wonder where the Encanto Loungefly is. And he was frustrated that I just kept looking for it and never bought it. So he was like, here, buy it.
And we ended the night with the Coke shop. And you got the white cranberry Sprite mocktail. It actually looked really, really good.
Yeah.
And then I got the bourbon Coke cocktail. So
beautiful cherry bourbon.
Very
nice.
Yeah, it was. Oh my god, I would.
Great.
It was so good. Literally
So
10 out of 10.
Yeah, that was the end of our little 3-day streak of just us two. And then we met up with your family again. And we had Christmas Eve at Animal Kingdom. But first,
we went to Olivia's Cafe.
Your favorite place.
Yeah. I got the waffles, eggs sandwich. And then you got the biscuits and mimosa.
Yes, I did.
How was it? It looked really good.
The biscuits were so good. And I remember telling you at the table that morning, because I was going to leave that night. And leaving from when you're in a long distance relationship is always really hard. And I find ways to help him figure it out. And so I said, just imagine that I'm like just sitting across the table from you, and I just ate 3 of these biscuits. Because I can't touch you, I can't kiss you, I can't do any of that. Yeah. But man, did I love those. Whenever I say that to you, I'm like, I just want an Olivia's Cafe biscuit right now.
I would also be fine with getting married there. It's also super pretty.
Old Key West, I think, ended up being my favorite because of how it was like Caribbean beach, but not cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And I love open concept hotels so much. So we walked around to look at it for a while, and then we accidentally missed the Animal Kingdom shuttle. So we Ubered to make it in time. Your family was waiting in line at Flight of Passage, so we could jump in there. Cast members are actually very efficient in terms of going up and saying, hey, our family's in line. Can we get there? And they helped us get there in a very efficient and clean way. Mm-hmm. We did Flight of Passage. What did you think? Because I know you didn't like it the first time you were on it.
I honestly really liked it. I thought it was really cool. The story is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The visuals are beautiful. It's not
the
my
pre-show
mom's
is too
favorite.
Long.
The pre-show is that's the only thing I don't like about it.
Yeah.
But it's my mom's favorite ride now, so that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
she was like, I don't know what are you talking about? That was the best ride I've ever been on ever. Your dad was like best ride at Disney he's ever been on. Mm. We had lunch at Flame Tree again with your family, but this time we sat and we saw kite fails. And indeed the kites failed.
It was bad.
For sure. We were watching, and the second kite that's supposed to fly with is it King Louis, something like that, completely like it lifted off and then fell straight into the water within 2
Yeah,
seconds.
it did. Yeah.
So that kite actually failed, and it was amazing.
And then we did Expedition Everest and Kilimanjaro Safari. And you fell asleep on me as we were leaving. Literally like 5 seconds into the car ride, she's out. I was like, all right.
And then you were out, and then your brother was out, and then your sister was out, and your mom was like, hey, and then we were all asleep. We spent, and then I said goodbye. Interesting thing about Florida, if you're going Christmas Eve, plan your Ubers as early as possible, because I planned mine for 2 hours earlier and it didn't get there till an hour before my flight, and I actually missed it because I could not get an Uber until like the Uber didn't show up until super late. So I ended up getting a new flight and arrived at 1 a.m. here on Christmas morning. Well, I was sick. It was gross.
Yeah, I love that. She left and we went to Boma at Animal Kingdom Lodge. It was so good. It was my first time going.
I was so mad.
One of the best like restaurants I've ever been to in my entire life.
I'm so mad I missed that because it was the best for options for you. It was the most that you've gotten.
So I only have a little bit. I obviously stayed there, like a week and a half longer. But I only wrote down like a few days because I was like, it doesn't really. A lot of the stuff we had already done.
Repeated, yeah.
So it was like whatever. So Christmas Day, I went to Magic Kingdom, and I feel like that's the best place for like Christmas morning is going to Magic Kingdom. It feels the most true. It's a Disney. And we did the Jingle Cruise. We waited 90 minutes for it, which felt super long. But it was really, really cute. They did a lot for it. The cast member was phenomenal. And he was one of the best people that I've ever seen working it. So that was fun.
Oh, wow. That's great.
We had dinner at Cinderella Castle, which was pretty good. I wasn't really thrilled by the food, but it was fine. I got the castle cocktail flight with a mimosa, a Picasso, and sangria. Oh my God, was it amazing. I got 2 rounds of those and I was little out of it, but it was
You called me and you were like, guess what I did? And I was like, hello.
And we did Mine Train at night during the fireworks show. So literally Mine Train is between the castle and the actual firework launch point. But a lot of the fireworks go off from the castle. So we were literally just looking back and forth at both the fireworks being shot off. And it was
did that,
sick. And then right before park closed, we did Splash Mountain 3 times in a row.
Wow.
Which, yeah, we just stayed on and just kept going.
Wow. That's amazing.
Hollywood Studios, one of my best friends that I'd grown up with like all my life came and we got to go to the parks together because we never gone to he hasn't been to Disney World ever.
What?
So we did
know that.
Yeah. So we did that. It was super, super fun. We did Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster. It was his first time doing Rise of the Resistance and he loved it. And Smuggler's Run.
Rise with new people.
Yeah, it's great. And he actually is a pilot. And he's been flying and he's getting his commercial license. So we did the piloting of Smuggler's Run and he loved that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. And it was also my family's first time on Runaway Railway and Rise of the Resistance. And all of them are super into like Star Wars, so that's cool to see. My brother, my mom, my sister really aren't, but they enjoy it. So that was really, really cool just to see their like reactions and stuff like that to the ride. And it was my first time drinking at the cantina, so that was great. My first time getting drunk.
You were like, hey.
I was gone.
Guess what? You called me, you were on FaceTime, and you were like, I got a fuzzy tauntaun.
So it's peach vodka, balls, peach schnapps, simply orange with tangerine, cane sugar, and tingling foam. Super good. It does feel really weird. I don't really know if I would get it again just because it felt so disgusting, but it was a really good drink. And then I got the Yub Nub, which is a Malibu pineapple rum, Sailor Jerry spice rum, citrus juice, and passion fruit. I realized this trip how much I love rum.
Yeah,
you really
so much had an affinity for it.
Time.
You had a lot of it.
I had a lot of rum. Highly recommend though.
You had a lot of
But
rum and a lot of wine.
a lot of wine, a lot of sparkling wine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was my first time getting drunk at the cantina or in general. So that
In
was
general, yeah.
an experience.
Because you were gone, dude. You were gone.
I couldn't walk afterwards. It was bad. I mean, I didn't throw up. I thought I was going to puke every single day that I was there. Never did. Didn't really
Yeah,
have any issues. So that was
because
cool.
you're small. So you can drink a little bit and get really wasted, but you're not gonna have any actual lasting problems because you didn't drink that much.
Mhm. And then for New Year's Eve, we actually spent it at Epcot. So we got there around 1, and Ratatouille had been down literally all day.
Oh
So when we
no.
went to get a boarding group, we couldn't get one at all.
Mhm.
And I was super upset because I did want to see it and experience it, but whatever. We
Next
went on
time.
Spaceship Earth and we did Living with the Land and Soarin'. I unfortunately ate at Sunshine Seasons, and it's basically the equivalent of Disney World's food court in a mall. Definitely did not like it. It tastes like crap.
Uh-oh.
So if you guys go,
Mm.
don't do that to yourself. Don't go to Sunshine
I know
Seasons.
it's tempting because it's inside and not Garden Grill,
Yeah.
but don't do it.
And we headed over to the seas, and we actually hung out with the manatees and like looked at them for a while. It was really cool to see them like being nursed in like health, like back to yeah. And it was really, really pretty just to see them floating around and eating lettuce and very,
so
very
cute.
zoo aspects. And we went and we saw Turtle Talk with Crush. And my sister got to like talk to him and like interact, and that was cool. From there, we split and we went to Test Track. I didn't go on because I really don't care for that ride. I think it's kind of boring.
You called me and you were like, I'm bored. I'm gonna sit.
Yeah. So I went over to America and I had my like 5th strawberry daiquiri in America. Literally, it was that's probably like the one drink that I had the most that I liked.
Yeah.
And I went over and checked out the new Ratatouille Pavilion. And it's super cool. It's like really detailed. There's a new creperie back there, a whole new like 2 or 3 restaurants that are new and just opened up. And it's really fun to see the Skyliner go right over the ride.
Yeah.
The station. And that night I went and saw Harmonious for the 3rd time. And it was kind of scary because like right when it started, it shut down. And it didn't reopen for like another 20 minutes to start the show. So we're like, oh, is it even going to happen on New Year's Eve? This isn't great. And right as the show ended, that's when all the festivities started, and 3 raves started popping up everywhere around World Showcase. So in the Italy Pavilion, there was a giant rave and DJ, and it was crazy. It was literally the craziest party that I've ever seen, especially at Disney World. Like, it was amazing. I loved it. It was super, super cool to see all like the music and the light shows happening everywhere. And I also got a sparkling peach moscato, super good. Couldn't get out of Italy for like 30 minutes just because of how packed it was from the rave. But yeah, it was insane. And I headed over to China because that's where the other rave was, and there was a giant smoke breathing dragon. And that was cool. Fire shooting up everywhere, super sick. Right in front of the temple there. There was a giant setup for their rave.
Now, I was there in spirit. I will say that.
Yeah,
I was on FaceTime for all of this.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
And from there, I headed over to England, and I stayed there like the entire night. And they were doing like a silent disco with 2 battling DJs that you can listen to on like different channels.
Cool.
And there was like a giant dance party. Literally it was there for like the entire time that the night was going on. So that was my highlight of the trip. Honestly, that was one of the best moments of my entire life. That silent rave was so sick. And I was actually talking to you about it. I was like, I want to go back next year for their New Year's Eve because you need to experience that.
I need to do that. Yeah, for sure.
And I picked up a white sangria and even more wine because I'm a little wine mom, obviously. And we headed over to Italy and we watched the countdown to the New Year fireworks, where they had literally every country shoot off fireworks and their respective times of when they passed over into the new year. So it was really cool to like see all the little fireworks shows. And then right as we moved into our new year, a giant like explosion happened in the River of America. And like our giant fireworks show started, and it was
Yeah.
super cool to see as we finally went into the 2020 new year.
Yeah.
Or 2022, not 2020.
2022.
But yeah, I loved it. It was one of the best experiences that I've ever had at a Disney park for one of the biggest celebrations of the year. So definitely, if
awesome.
you can,
Sounds
I
amazing.
really recommend it because it was fan-frickin-tastic.
Yeah. It's only going to get more packed as COVID scares go away. So.
Oh God, yeah, I know.
Yeah. So be thankful you had it when you did.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a really, really stellar trip. Super long.
You got back last night.
Going to work for 9 hours today, so that'll be great. So excited.
I go back to work. I was supposed to go back to work on Monday, last Monday. And I was so sick that I had to get 3 COVID tests that were all negative, and then sat in my house for a full extra week. And that made me mad because if I had known I was going to get sick and not go to work, I could have stayed there.
Yeah, you could have experienced New Year's Eve at the biggest party of the world.
I don't think I would have been well enough to do that. I would have just sat at home and waited for you to come.
Oh, well, that's not fun.
At my house in Pennsylvania.
I mean, it was really, really warm though, so you could just hang out at the pool and just chill, I could have just gone to the pool. Exactly. Relax, and
I would have just stayed there and relaxed. Yeah, quarantined there.
But yeah, it was amazing. I am so glad you got to go and experience it when you did.
That was a huge. I remember when I first offered, or when I told you, like, because I think you were in a pretty deep state of like, I don't know what's going to happen to me kind of mood. And there were 3 days where it was going to be you by yourself. And I remember like sitting at work on the bathroom floor of work being like, if you feel like you want me there, all you have to do is say the word. And then I think about a week later, you were like, okay, get out here. And I was like, done, on it. And so I'm so glad that we did it. And
yeah,
it was so special. It's so much fun. And I'm very excited because with all my pictures, my mom is now like, I want to go to Epcot and Animal Kingdom. And you and I are like, okay.
Yeah, when are we going?
Let's go. So, yeah.
I'm already planning another trip back soon, I think.
I hope so. I think so.
Yeah.
If Paint the Night comes back, I think that's the big one that we're like, oh, okay, let's go.
Paint the Night and Guardians of the Galaxy are like the two.
Oh, Cosmic Rewind. That's going to be a big deal. We got to go for that for sure.
Yeah, you're coming out to California next month. So
next month we are now. I have a little app. Oh, so Christmas present, kind of off topic, but for anyone who's in a long distance relationship like us, if you were having like, not like, if you're having struggles, one thing we got these matching bracelets. And they're called bond touches, and so all I have to do is tap on it like this and then touch it, and then in about 2 minutes he's gonna feel it on his wrist. So it's a great way for us to stay connected. And so really through that little app that comes with it, it actually, you can write down the next time that you're meeting up and it'll tell you. So we're 35 days away from our next meeting, so cute little plug there.
Is there anything else before we call it, or?
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I just did
look at that. Look at that. And you can use a specific color. So the blue, that's how I know that that's him. I don't think that I have anything. We're going to be doing Villains League. Oh, lots and lots of guests are coming on. CJ Lewis. Packed,
yeah.
At CJ Lewis on TikTok, who is famous for his Bruno and Camilo cosplays, also 104 drag and otherwise cosplays, including at least 30 Disney cosplays. He will be on the show after Villains League. And then we're bringing Ali Ruckman back to do Attraction Rewind. And we are bringing on Darius Stuckey to talk all things Miles Morales and Spider-Man.
Let's go.
And then lastly, we have Bullet Shot Hero.
Oh, I just got it.
Yeah. We have Bullet Shot Hero, aka our friend Grayson. who will be coming on to talk about Shang-Chi and other fun, nerdy things.
Lots of
So,
Marvel content coming.
Lots of Marvel, lots of friends. Very exciting for these guests to come on. I'm really excited to share this with them, with some of my friends. These are my friends on TikTok, so I'm super excited to share this with them. I know Darius is excited to see you, Sky.
I love him.
Darius and Sky are in love. So alrighty,
right.
that is all I have. So
am I closing it or you?
Whatever you want to do. This is what our relationship is like. No, you go ahead. No,
what are you talking about? But yeah, thank you as always for tuning in and listening to the Dream Fantastic Dream podcast.
I'm sorry this episode was so long.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it had to be because it's been so long
Mm-hmm.
getting back into it. But you know, there's go check out the podcast merch store. Lots of designs.
I just got a bunch of stickers from it. So
I'm actually working on re-getting the rights so we can open the shop back up and do more. I'm super excited. It's gonna be fun.
That's good. I have ideas.
We need to start. So. Yeah, we need to start making more because that's so fun to do.
I have a lot
the Discord,
of ideas.
I'm not really active in anymore. But it's there if you guys are wanting to come and hang out with people and just kind of vibe.
You are always welcome to ask us questions or just like ask us how our day is. We'll show up eventually.
Yeah, it'll happen. Don't know when, but it'll happen. But with that, everyone, thank you as always and dream a fantastic dream.